Hi, my name is Daniella Carpinelli, and today I'm going to be talking to you about emotional support animals. What they do, what they are, what kind of animals, the benefits, how to get one, all of that, etc. So, what are they? Emotional support animals are any animals used to provide comfort and support to those with disabilities. Most commonly, the disabilities are some type of mental illness, and the owner a lot of times needs a lot of companionship and support to get through those mental illnesses, and ESAs provide that. But they must be licensed in order to truly be considered and get the benefits of being an emotional support animal. An owner cannot take their dog and say that it is their emotional support animal and get the benefits of it unless it actually has the documentation. But they can take their dog or cat or whatever animal they want. They can use their animal that they already own and register it as an emotional support animal, but it just needs that registration and licensing to actually get all of the benefits. So there are three main kinds of dogs or animals used to help any type of disabilities and provide treatment. There are emotional support animals, service dogs, and therapy dogs. And there are differences between these three things. They are fairly similar, but there's differences. Emotional support animals are registered as ESAs, which is emotional support animal. They do exactly that. They are nothing else. They provide emotional support, and that is pretty much it. So they do not need any training. They can have training if it's just a dog and you want it to be trained like a normal dog. That's perfectly okay, but they do not need training in order to actually be an emotional support animal. This being said, they cannot go into stores or restaurants or any place like that because they are not trained for that kind of situation. But they can go in planes, and they are allowed in no pet housing by law. Service dogs require extensive training for what the owner needs it for. So say the owner has epilepsy and they have seizures. Well, the service dog will be trained in order to recognize the symptoms of epilepsy or maybe a seizure starting, and they will be able to provide treatment for that or help their owner through that. So they do need a lot of training in the specific area that their owner needs them for. And that being said, they can go anywhere with their owner. They can go in restaurants, stores, housing, planes, everywhere, because it is like a life or death situation for the owner. They need them everywhere they go in case something happens, and the dog is the only one that can provide treatment. Therefore, they can recognize symptoms and help their owner through their disabilities, and they are actually considered working animals, not pets. So when you see a service dog outside, they usually have a little vest that says service dog. That means that that is a dog that you are not supposed to engage with. You are not supposed to touch it because it could be distracting and potentially life-threatening for some owners. So out of respect, if you see a service dog, you are not supposed to pet them or distract them in any way. Now, therapy dogs provide comfort to those in schools, therapy, nursing, etc. Any dog can be one, but not all dogs are good fits. They do need to be very calm and well-behaved dogs, so some training might be good. Most have a certification to be a therapy dog. They do not necessarily need it. Some places where they would use them as treatment may require the certification. So this being said, they may need some training, but it is not necessarily required. Therapy dogs are ones where they are not a therapy dog for every single owner. They have one owner, and that owner can choose to make them a therapy dog for others. So what happens if the owner wants to make their dog a therapy dog in a school, they will train them for that, get the certification, and then their dog will go to the school and help the students, not the owner. Now, what kind of animals can be ESAs? The most common animals would definitely be dogs and cats, but any animal is eligible to be an emotional support animal. Whatever animal is comforting to a person, that's what they would want to have as their emotional support animal. Other common examples are hamsters, rabbits, horses, etc. They're just animals that provide any type of companionship for the owner, dogs and cats being the most common. So what are the benefits of having an emotional support animal? There are many, and they are actually researched and proven to be true. So ESAs can decrease people's social anxiety and make them more social. That is because the dog provides that sense of companionship when the owner is out. If that is something that is very anxiously triggering to a person, then having that dog there will be a support system and help them through it and make them much more likely to continue doing it in the future. They also boost their owner's self-esteem. They also help produce neurotransmitters, which leads to decreased feelings of depression. Depression is one of the main illnesses that people get ESAs for, and dogs are proven to decrease those feelings. They increase the amount of love and support the owner feels. This also kind of leads in with the depression or other mental illnesses. A lot of mental illnesses decrease emotions. They sometimes numb people to emotions where they don't feel them as intensely or at all. And that's something that can be very scary and triggering for a person. And these dogs actually make a person feel much more. They make them feel much more empathy, love, and get them out of that mentally bad state. They also increase owners' motivation. They decrease their owners' symptoms of their mental illness. Now, how to get one. A diagnosis of an illness from a physician or therapist is needed in order to qualify. A person cannot just sign up and expect to get one. That's not how it works. You actually need a real diagnosis from a licensed person. A prescription/note from a therapist or physician is also required in order to register your pet as an emotional support animal. So even if one does have a diagnosis and they know they have any type of mental illness and they need an emotional support animal, they still cannot just go sign their animal up as one. They do still need that doctor's note, and that provides the evidence that this diagnosis is real and they do truly need one. So some of the illnesses that people get emotional support animals for are depression, anxiety, PTSD, bipolar disorder, OCD, ADD, ADHD, and chronic stress. This is a video that explains a little more in depth on how to actually receive an emotional support animal. And thank you so much for listening.